That's what Swami tells us. He said, love all, serve all. Again, the words are so simple, but you have to do it, not repeat the language. He speaks to you at the deepest level of your being. He said, I will protect you. I will be with you. I will guide you.
A frequent visitor to Indian holy man Sri Satya Sai Baba's ashram in southern India, Hal Honig has collected dozens of interesting Baba stories over the years. In this second interview, Honig talks about how his life was deeply changed after coming to Sai Baba's side. Welcome to Souljourns. This interview was recorded in New York City in June 2008.
Well, I'm making an adjustment to advancing age and the lack of mobility that that involves. And it is a difficult adjustment. I don't like it. However, it would be vastly more difficult if I did not have the presence, the support, and the love of Swami. I remember so many of the things that he said. For example, towards the end of an interview many years ago, he said, I will protect you. I will be with you. I will guide you. Well, you know, when he speaks, and he says it, he wasn't saying to anybody else in the room, he speaks to you at the deepest level of your being, and you don't forget it. It becomes an important part of your whole, in fact, the most important part of your life experience. And so his words have been an enormous influence on the way I have lived and changed my life. At one level, it was dealing with service. And I've spent a lot of years doing that, dealing with people who are hungry, dealing with young people who are in need of attention, mentoring, tutoring, caring, in short, in need of some expression of love. And for me now, the most amazing thing is that there has never been in the history of man on earth a world teacher, an avatar, who has presented so extraordinarily vast and all-inclusive at all levels of divine teachings. None, no one. I don't think even Krishna, because Swami's volumes, which in the late 30s of the Satya Sai Speaks, and his Vahini books that deal with his teachings, and his summer showers that deal with the summer courses of Indian culture and spirituality that I had the fortune of attending a number of times, are priceless. They're priceless because they give you, in simplified form, the heart of the highest Vedic teachings. And then, but they're brought down to an understandable level that is so easy to communicate. Now, I was brought up with some spiritual teachings, and a few of them were meaningful to me, such as the Sermon on the Mount. And there were things that really were important, but not at the consistent level of what Swami has to say. And the extraordinary thing about what he has to say is that he'll start with the very highest teachings and then bring it right down to the practical daily level of how to deal with specific life situations that we deal with. It's incredible. I know that perhaps not for a few years, but within a few years, there will be the universities of the world will teach courses in Satya Sai Baba. We do have them in various universities. We have courses in Buddha. We have courses in Jesus' teachings. With Swami's teachings, it's going to be all-inclusive, and I've suggested to the biographer, current biographer, Narasimurti, that a proper course be taught. And there is now in this country a very good example of teaching courses which allow someone who's interested in a particular subject to take a course given by outstanding professors in various parts of the country in different universities. What will happen is those courses will be taught, attended to, and I think will have a very important part in Swami's mission. What is the mission? We know that as we come now to the final stage of this particular form in Satya Sai Baba, Swami is talking about other things that he hasn't mentioned quite as thoroughly before. He's talking about not only his mission, but his mission when he reappears as Prema Sai Baba. And Prema Sai's mission will be to create a new way of living that we, all of us, desperately want and feel the need for at the present moment. And what he wills has to happen. It cannot not happen. What do we have to do with it? Those of us who, for some reason or other, have in past lives earned and deserved the opportunity to take from this experience an effort at self-transformation, because unless effort is there, it doesn't happen. You may do all the good talking you want, but the effort has to be there. Interestingly enough, a lot of the effort, he gives very simple advice at times. Give an example of that. Talking about worries. People have a lot of anxieties, worries, concerns. And Swami says, this should be a quote, as if it comes out right, I'll tell you. You simply must stop worrying. Well, that's a very simple statement, but when it comes from Swami, with the power and the beauty and the love that is behind it, you don't forget it. And then he adds something that is so enormously important, because it is really the answer, as I see it, for me personally, to the meditation problem, which I tried many years ago and did some, but I don't do it very well. I just don't.
Me neither.
And so after he finishes that statement, he says, think constantly of God and be happy. Well, they're very simple. It's almost, but it's so powerful and it's so memorable that you really don't forget it. As I don't forget, oh, what a nice shirt, Amrit.
Okay, for example, he gave you, I'm trying to recreate where you were in your train of thought, about meditation. You said you
constantly of God and be happy.
So start out with a declarative statement. So again, what he told you about that.
Well, he really didn't have to tell me very much. He just said it. And again, his words carry a power that you can't find anywhere else. And the power is, it's interesting because he's called me different things at different times. I've been occasionally in New York. I've occasionally been drama man. But mostly he's called me teacher. And at one interview with a number of people in it, he said, Professor. He looked at me and said, what are you teaching? And without thinking about what I was going to, I didn't think. I just heard myself say, Swami, I'm talking about you. So I'm teaching love. And he said, very good.